Oh, damn it.
It's time.
I forgot how to play that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's that time of month. It's that time of the month, right?
It's that time of the month and that time of the year where we're wrapping up. Well, almost wrapping up 2020, thank goodness.
Yep. What's going on, everybody? Sorry for the delay. Jay was in the bathroom dropping some heat. Johnny had some issues, so we're finally here. Okay, that didn't happen, but we just had some issues. So thank you everyone for being so patient. All 4,300 waiting. Sorry.
I thought it was 43,000. I thought I saw.
Oh, my bad.
Watching.
I'm sorry. I'm bad with my decimals and zeros and all that stuff. So what's going on, everyone? Last Wednesday of the month.
Well, last Wednesday of the year.
Last Wednesday of the year. You're spending your time with yours truly and Mr. Lord J. Hannon and the Swedish shirt of 2020.
We should have this roll in like in the Star Wars intro. You know, everything comes up and his stupid face just comes rolling in.
That's the best face ever. That's the best shirt.
Like, what also makes it is the neckline. It's like down there, and it really makes him look like a complete fool.
Not the haircut makes him look like a complete fool.
Well, his face makes him look like a complete fool. Oh, we're live.
Oh, we are. Yeah, absolutely. Jeannie, you heard us gossiping up here?
Did you?
That's what she said. We have a bunch of people in the chat tonight. We have some of my family members here, so you guys better be nice. My mom will slap someone, so don't make her come out. No, but happy Metal Wednesday, guys. We Jay and I have a lot to get to tonight. It'll be it's gonna be a good show. So Johnny, let's get into the producers, shall we? So our executive producers of Johnny Beane TV. If it weren't for these guys, Jay's handsome face wouldn't be here all the time. We have Charles Green, Joe Christian, Wayno, Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Laz, Straight Tom, James Gum, Mike Neese, Frey Corcoran, Michael Smith,
the captain,
David Ennis, Dan Halen, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael!
So yeah, become a channel member. Click the join button. Become a YouTube channel sponsor. I think we had one earlier tonight too. Before even the show started, they just knew it was going to be the hotness tonight, and we had a Frankenstein package. I think. Sue Silvestri.
Wait! What are you doing here? I got the applause.
Guess who still doesn't have one of those?
Oh, I'll send you one.
You son of a bitch.
I'll have Amazon drop it off to you.
Okay. That'd be great. Jay, do you want to go through the roll call? We have we have a couple thousand people in the chat, so it might take you
down. I'm gonna have to trim. Well, I can hear myself. Do you have your volume on super pump right now?
No.
All right, hold on.
That's you.
Participants. Let me do the participants here. I'm going to have to trim it down because I can't go through thousands and thousands of names, okay? We got Chris Bevan, David Scher, Edwin Crane, Frank Corcoran, Jeannie Says, who is downstairs manning the battle stations, James Gum, Janice Lala, Johnny Beane is here, everybody.
Johnny Beane.
KXM Rock, Lawrence Jones, Mary, there you go, Mary Bosom.
What's up, Mom?
Music Therapy Laz, Nightbot, Pat Foster, Australian for Foster, Randy Price, Sandy Davis, White Lewis. If I messed that up, I apologize.
Sandy Davis, White Lewis, is that a human law firm over there?
Yeah. Oh, you messed me up now. Sean Jeanson and Wayno and everybody else, the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around YouTube. Thank you very much. We're going to get into some serious stuff tonight. At the end of the year, So obviously a lot of lists are going around with the, top metal albums of the year, top songs of the year. No, Jeannie, I am not. She just texted me something privately. And whereas Brian is more, what's the word I'm looking for here? He's more prepared for this event and occasion, whereas Brian's going to talk about his favorite records from 2020. I am going to talk about my favorite records from 1990.
Not 1919, 1990.
1990. Yeah.
Yeah. Just making sure people didn't think that it was going to be like jazz, folk music being discussed.
1990.
Yeah. So before we get into the top albums, also my Aunt Patsy, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in, and good job, Mom. I'm pimping out the show to the family. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Weird when your family watches. It's like, man, if I really show how my brain doesn't work most of the time, they'd be like, what are you doing?
Right. They know. Before we get into the crux of the show, let's start with Gizmachi. How's been the reception of Broken Ends? What do you think? How's the band feel? Let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
The reception from where it's reached so far has been pretty good. We're still waiting for Jose Mangan and Liquid Metal to pick it up. So if anybody wants to tweet at him or Sean the Butcher, who is the other guy from Liquid Metal, that would be much appreciated. But other than that, man, I mean, we did the playthrough video. It's gotten pretty good response from the people that have seen it. But, more is coming. Obviously, this is the first official single from the record that comes out March 12th, 2021. So next single is January 29th. So you know more than I do.
I'm on it.
It's going good. It's slow, a little slower than I had figured, but I guess the fact that we haven't put anything out in 15 years, it's kind of expected. Whereas a lot of people probably don't even think we're doing anything. So right. I think once the word gets out a little more and we have a little better PR, which is coming, thanks to Brian, I think more people will know about it. And yeah, kick ass.
Thanks, Chris Bevan. It is Broken Ends is a killer song. Absolutely. The 2021 is going to be a great year for Gizmachi. This upcoming in the next couple of weeks, I could see is going to be big changes. Some stuff that we're doing. I think it's going to. It'll be great. And then everyone, if you're watching, all 5,300 people that are here watching, take a minute, send a message to Jose Mangan, send some nudes, send something to grab his attention. Sean the Butcher, whatever. So everyone, we're going to ask for your help. Make sure you reach out, ask for Gizmachi Broken Ends. And then next month we have a new, well, not we, I'm not in the band, but Jay and Gizmachi has a new single coming out. So next month we'll get more into that. So,
yep.
I can hear a child.
You hear that? I apologize, everybody. That's Killian. That's K-Rock. He's going to be a future shredder. So,
it's not one of my kids. So I'm good. It's you. But Larry Jones, thanks for coming in. Writer Jay off the couch.
What happened?
All right, we'll talk about this real fast. There is Larry Jones, my brother-in-law. His best friend, his name is Jay, not you. He is a poet, and he doesn't know it. He thinks he is, but he just writes words, and it's yeah.
What?
It is. Basically, he puts words together and creates poetry, and it is awful. It's so bad. And we just talk about it a lot. We send the poetry to each other and just try to analyze it. And there's no rhyme, there's no scheme, it's no limericks, no haikus, nothing. It's just sad. It's just sad. So,
Okay.
what's that?
I said, okay.
We should have like a spoken word, and I'll just read some of Jay's poetry, but it'd be rough. So, Larry, thanks for stopping in, and yeah. So let's get to it. Top albums of 2020. Top metal albums of 2020. So, guys in the chat, as we're going through this, if you have some albums that you like this year or some songs that you want to discuss, definitely hit us up. Jay, I know you haven't listened to much of anything new this year, but anything new this year really tickle your fancy?
Well, the one album you told me to you've actually told me to check out a bunch of albums this year, and I probably checked out about 1% of them. But I guess the one album that I checked out and actually listened to for probably 3 or 4 times through was the new Mr. Bungle album. And it's very surprising to me because Scott Ian is in it or is on it.
Yep. Dave
Lombardo. And it's strange because when I listened to it, I had to remind myself a few times that it's Mr. Bungle. And I kept thinking to myself, this is SOD.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird because the whole thing, I mean, anybody that's listened to Mr. Bungle before, there's a lot of different elements in there. There's the horns, there's the keyboard, there's a whole bunch of different stuff, and obviously there's metal stuff in it.
Yeah.
But especially all the albums after the first one, the self-titled one, which is my favorite, it's just all over the place. A lot of noise going on, weird stuff, not really structured songs, which is fine. Everybody's got their own thing.
Right.
But man, when I heard the new one, I'm like I said, I had to remind myself it wasn't SOD. It's because it's straight thrash. It's like 1987, 88 in that son of a bitch.
It is.
And I mean, they do play, they have a song from the first SOD record that they play, that they basically cover. So that's why it was strange, but I dug it. I totally dug it. And obviously Mike Patton's a talented son of a bitch. So
and weird as hell.
Yeah. It's funny, if anybody out there is a gamer, there's a video game called Left 4 Dead, and he actually voices all the zombies in the game. And for anybody that listened to Faith No More in the past or Mr. Bungle, it's cool when you hear like the zombies going, making all those noises, and you actually hear Mike Patton, because those kind of noises that he's made on the albums. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, that's probably, I'm trying to think if there's any other new albums that I listened to, but I'm curious to hear how many are you going to list? 10, 20, 50?
41.
41. Okay. No,
for albums, I was going to do top 5, but I have 6 in an honorable mention. So
that's hard, man.
What's that?
That's hard to do top 5, but I guess that's what makes it special.
It is. So I'll start with my honorable mention. So since you said it, Mr. Bungle, I really like that album. And it was written, it started, like the demos from like 1986.
Mm-hmm.
So when they decided to put this out, they asked Scott Ian and Lombardo to be a part of it because when they wrote it, they had those guys in mind, like the thrashiness. So they're like, well, we were thinking about Scott Ian and Dave Lombardo. How about they just come and play it since we were inspired by them? So, which is pretty cool, Yeah, like songs like Raping Your Mind, dope song.
Mm-hmm.
Racist, really good stuff. Raping Your Mind actually reminded me of like the intro, like a Slipknot riff. So it's pretty cool. And I love me some Slipknot, if you guys don't know, but it's a really good album. It's fast, it's heavy. Yeah, and I was surprised when I sent it to you. You're like, all right, I'll listen to it. And you're like, I actually like it.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't expecting it to be a thrash record. That's why I was expecting it to be a all over the place Mr. Bungle record where it's like there's really cool parts and cool riffs here and there, but nothing really ties together, and it's just like a mashup of parts, which I know Mike Patton's into.
Right.
So I was pleasantly surprised that it is a thrash record.
It is. It's pretty cool. It's not a lot of the weirdness that I was used to from Mr. Bungle.
I just said that.
Yeah, but they're Mike Patton does some weird stuff. He's just a weird dude, But musically, like you didn't have the keyboards, you didn't have the weird, I don't know, interludes.
Sounds
yeah, but so it was cool. It's definitely it's a really good album. So I was happy with it. So that's my honorable mention of the year. It didn't make my top 5 or my top 6, but it's up there. I like it. So getting to my top albums.
Wait,
Seven Dust.
Wait, read Johnny's comment. Can you see?
I remember one time at the guitar shop years ago, I was blasting Mr. Bungle, and Alex Skolnick came in and asked us to turn it down because he was teaching a lesson next door.
Yeah, good luck teaching a guitar lesson when Mr. Bungle's playing.
What'd you say, Johnny? Did you turn it down, or just be like, "We got Mr. Bungle going on"? Too bad, Alex.
Johnny definitely turned it down.
Yeah.
Kiss off, Alex. Yeah. Get out of here.
So yeah, definitely a good album. My next album, Seven Dust, so go number 5, tied. The new Seven Dust album. I really like it. It's not as good as some of the other Seven Dust albums that I love, but it's good. It's got elements of Seven Dust that I love. Dying to Live is a great song. Feel Like Going On, Desperation, some really good tunes, but I don't know. It just wasn't. It didn't grab me like by the balls like normal. So it was still good, but not amazing. So
well, I think I listened to maybe when that first song came out. You sent it to me to check out. I thought it was cool. It's definitely sounded like Seven Dust, and that's a thing. That's a thing that they have. They sound like themselves.
Yeah,
and it's not just the vocals; it's everything else with it. It's the music too, like the drums. He has his own, the way they compress the kick drum in that, and the drums overall. Like he has a very unique sound in that band, which is cool. I mean, any band that can say, or when people say a band has a unique sound, that's definitely something that most bands strive for, but it's very hard to do. Everybody wants to sound unique. It's very hard to do. So kudos to them for keeping it real.
Yeah, Morgan Rose, he's the man.
Yeah, he's a really good drummer.
I guess, and obviously bands write music for themselves, and it's not like, hey, I'm going to put this out for Brian or Jay. It's just
you don't think they wrote that whole album for you?
They clearly didn't, because I didn't love it. So it's it's good. It is. It's just there's a lot of like mid-tempo songs, and I don't know. It didn't have a lot of. It didn't vary a lot. There's some songs, like some albums, they have a song that's slow, mid-tempo, and then there's a real quick one, and they didn't have that on this.
There was no bangers on it?
No. No bangers. The closest one I feel like is Desperation. That song is the shit.
Desperation.
So yeah, and when I get to songs, that may be top 10 of the year, because I got top 10 songs of the year.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Next album, Lamb of God's new joint. Hell yeah. Album is really good. Big fan of it. Memento Mori, Resurrection Man, New Colossal Hate. Yeah. Classic Lamb of God. Art Cruz, the new drummer, phenomenal job. He fit right in. Sound like Adler. So, which is good and bad. Like it didn't sound like, if I didn't know it was a new drummer, to me it sounded like Chris Adler. But I know you want to come in and have your own spin. You don't want to be the same person, just like Jay Weinberg and Joey Jordison. Jay Weinberg does his own thing, but also he does sound like Joey too. So,
well, if you don't mind me chiming in here, I think the reason being is because those two bands in particular, especially, well, I would say both, maybe evenly. Actually, maybe Lamb of God a little more. I think that Chris Adler's drumming style, especially with like the syncopated kick drums and the gallops and stuff that he did. It was a very unique sound for that same type of thing. It was a very unique thing for them, and it sounded like them. And I'm sure they didn't want somebody coming in and not still having that aspect of their sound or whatever in their music. So it's like, hey, we still have to sound like this, but obviously, like you said, they don't want somebody coming in and just sounding like that.
Right.
And the same with Slipknot. Weinberg he's a phenomenal drummer as well.
Filthy.
But there's certain aspects of Slipknot's music that are built around the drums. So you still need to have that in there.
Absolutely. So have you listened to New Lamb of God?
I have not, and I feel like an asshole for it because as you know, Josh Wilbur is a friend of mine. And he's worked with them since Wrath, which came out in 2008 or 9, right?
8.
Yeah, and that album is probably one of my favorite sounding modern metal records. Wrath. I haven't heard the new one yet. Like I said, I apologize, but I'll definitely check it out.
It's good. I think you'll like it. I do. Yeah, it's Lamb of God. It's the same formula. They didn't change much. So it's if
when you
like,
find something that works for your band, that is a signature sound, and you can keep doing it, and people keep coming back, you're doing something right.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Next album on the list, number 4, Killer Be Killed's new album, Reluctant Hero. If you guys don't know Killer Be Killed, it's a super group. You have Troy Sanders from one of my all-time favorite bands, Mastodon, singing, playing bass. You have Greg Puciato, the singer of the now defunct Dillinger Escape Plan, playing guitar. And also you have your boy, Max Cavalera, the riff master himself, also playing guitar and singing. So you have 3 singers in that band. The first album was really good. This album to me is a lot better. As it just, I think they're just used to playing with each other. They took what they liked from the first album and they expanded on it. The first song is the shit. Deconstructing Self-Destruction. Check that out. Everyone check that out. Really good song.
Right now. Not now.
Right now.
After the show.
Yeah. They'll do it right at this second, but a little later. Really good stuff. Filthy Vagabond. Awesome. Really good stuff. If you want to hear something it's a little different. It's a good rock or metal album. It's really good. You got 3 different singers. There's a lot of different things going on. It's good. Really good. Everyone should check that out. Big fan.
That's another Josh Wilbur production right there. So you got 2 in a row.
No, we have 3 in a row. The next album, number 3, is Trivium. What the Dead Man Say. Hell yeah. Really good album. If you guys don't know, Jay, Mr. Hoonan over here, back in 2005, they toured. They played Ozfest, and for 2 months, they shared a bus with who?
Trivium.
Trivium. So I really started actually like talking with Jimmy. So my starting to like Trivium was back in 2005. Jimmy told me about Trivium and about how you guys toured with them, and I just started listening to them, and I'm a big Trivium fan, and as you know, I have to really I can't listen to music of bands of people I don't like. Like I'm not a Guns N' Roses fan because I think Axl Rose is the biggest bag of douche ever. I just can't do it, you know. So there's some bands I just can't get into, and later one of the topics that Jay and I are going to talk about, which I think is going to be hilarious. We'll talk about some music that people love that I can't stand because of the people in the band. So, but Trivium, listen to them. I got to meet them a couple of years ago. Real nice guys. And then my guitar teacher, Ollie Herbert, is sponsored by Jackson, which Corey from Trivium is as well. So they would be at the same table at NAMM and got along. And Ollie always had some good things to say about Trivium, even though Trivium and All That Remains as a band, they don't get along. But Corey and Ollie did. Ollie got along with everyone, but you just said they're good guys, good musicians, and so just knowing that, I know you guys toured with them, heard some cool stories about shopping in the women's section of stores. I don't know. I'm a big Trivium fan. I am. So the new album, What the Dead Man Say.
Corey was cool. Corey was very cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had kept in contact with him because he was awesome. We had a lot of fun.
We should reach out to him. Tell him about New Gizmachi. And when I met them, I was wearing a Gizmachi shirt, and they were pumped. They're like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And they were like, "We toured with them." I'm like, "I know,
I know."
So no, they're real good guys. What the Dead Men Say, Amongst the Shadows and the Stones, and one of my favorite songs of the year, which I'll get to in a little bit. I don't want to say it now. I don't want to blow my load too early. I'll talk about that shortly. So that's my number 3 album. Jay, so far, any of this, any of, Lamb of God, Killer Be Killed, Trivium, Seven Dust, anything you want to chime in about? Even you might not listen to the album, but something about their music or the band themselves?
No.
Okay. I still want to be talking for a half hour straight.
Oh, no, this is your time, man. Take it. I talk enough on this channel. I think people are probably sick of hearing me by now. I'm put some chapstick on, so I'm going to turn my camera off. I'll be right back.
All right. So before I get to the next album, Randy Price, you met Ollie several times. Ollie he was my guitar teacher. Great guy, family friend. And it's sad that he's no longer with us. And actually, after he passed, I stopped playing the guitar for a bit. I just didn't have the motivation to do it because when he would be coming over every week, and for a period of time, I was the best I ever was playing the guitar because I was just like, this dude knows Hungarian scales and modes and talks about Japanese different scales. I'm like, I can do this. I'll be better than him. So it really pushed me to play, and I was shredding. And when he passed, it took the wind out of my sails, and I stopped playing for a bit. Like, I love playing the guitar. I played all the time, but I was playing for hours a day, and then I would play maybe once a week then. So yeah. So
it's weird how things like that can take the wind out of your sails. I mean, it's kind of still the same thing like since Eddie passed. Like, I haven't really had that extra oomph to like play guitar as much as I did before. And I thought it would be the opposite. I thought it would kind of like, but I would say for like 2 weeks after Eddie passed away, I barely touched the guitar. Like, I'd come up here late at night and I wouldn't even pick it up, or I'd pick it up and just wouldn't really have that oomph to play. And I mean, it's still there, but it's just weird how certain things can affect things that you enjoy doing.
Absolutely. And Cameron Brown just said the same thing.
Yeah, him and I have had that conversation a couple times since then.
Yeah.
So. But at the talent level between Cameron and me, like, Cameron can stop playing for a month and he'd be fine. Whereas me, if I stop playing for like 2 weeks, it takes me a little bit to get back up to where I was. So
to get your chops up.
I notice it. And obviously anybody that is a certain age, but my 43-year-old fingers aren't as limber as my 27-year-old fingers. So it definitely takes a little more like doing I'm not big on warming up per se, as far as like doing the stretching and all that stuff. But as far as just the coordination, locking the right and left hand together, that takes a little longer for me to kind of get going, especially if I don't play for a few days or a week or something like
that. The weirdest thing for me when I don't play for a bit and I try to do sweeping, Ollie taught me some techniques and how to practice it. And there's times I do it and I have it, I'm flying. I'm like, oh my God, I am the best guitarist in Connecticut here. And then there's other times it just sounds just like a total mess. So it's amazing. Like, that's to me, when I know I don't play for a bit, when I do that I'm like, all right. So
I know. And I know that I can probably speak for a lot of us. I mean, when you learn something new on guitar and you actually notice yourself improving, it's almost like a drug in itself. It's like you get like that extra fire.
Oh,
like, yeah, you know,
Mhm.
and you keep going with it, and that's a huge part of the fun of it. But you know,
Absolutely.
it's crazy.
Let's get back into the top albums of 2020. Number 2, Code Orange, their album Underneath. This album is the shit. I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
I do. I think it's really good. In Fear, I had you listen to it, and I was like, hey, Jay, check out this song. I love it. Tell me what you think. And you're like, I listened for 15 seconds. I couldn't get past it. I stopped.
I think it was more like 30 seconds.
Was it? Yeah, you didn't like the industrial effect to the beginning of that song, right?
Yeah, there was something about it. Something like the intro riff, and then the way it went into like the song when everything came in together. I was like, I don't know. It just didn't. Whatever. I'm harder to please now in my old age.
You are.
I am.
You are a fickle old man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, absolutely. You guys, oh, not you guys, but in the chat, I see some of you guys are talking about Code Orange is heavy. Hell yeah. Real good.
Code Orange is pretty damn sick. Yep. Heavy as fuck.
They tuned to Drop B. They're inspired heavily by Slipknot. So that's probably a big reason why I like them. But I love the industrial aspects to what they do. And I love industrial, like old school Ministry, Skinny Puppy, 9 Inch Nails, like Broken. That album, Pretty Hate Machine, Downward Spiral, amazing. So
Pretty Hate Machine is great. I guess when you're talking about you love that blend of metal with industrial, I'm kind of the opposite. I like to I know there's a band that I'm going to bring up in my 1990 albums of the year. There's a band that's in there for me, one of the top albums of 1990 that they ended up getting a little more industrial with their sound, and I wasn't a fan anymore. So
I can't wait to hear what band that is.
you'll probably like, I never even heard any of their music.
Maybe.
I'm sure you've heard of them, but you probably,
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
But yeah, Code Orange, number 2, Underneath, In Fear, Sulfur Surrounding, Underneath, Swallowing the Rabbit Hole. Yeah, gives me the feels. Love it. So it's really, really good album. So before I get to number 1, let's go back. Let me talk about the.
Wait. Can we go back to Code Orange? Didn't they do a theme, an entrance song for a wrestler?
Yeah.
I actually dug that one because I know, who is it? Aleister Black, I think, is the wrestler.
The Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
No, hold on a sec. I thought they did the theme for maybe they did another one. You sure?
Yeah, it was Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. So
I thought that Code Orange did one because I know that they had like a pay-per-view or whatever for NXT, which is the minor leagues of WWF or WWE, sorry. And they actually had the band like on the stage as he came walking out. I thought that was Code Orange.
Nope.
I'm going to look it up because it might be both, but keep going. Number 1.
All right. So a quick recap is Mr. Hannon is checking out the Code Orange song. So the honorable mention for top albums of 2020, Mr. Bungle, Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny. Great album. Check it out. If you want to hear some thrashiness, do it. Tell your friends. Seven Dust, Blood and Stone. Great album. Lamb of God. Definitely another amazing metal album. Kill or Be Killed. Everyone needs to check that album. Really good stuff. Trivium, What the Dead Men Say. Number 3. Number 2, Code Orange with Underneath. And number 1 album of 2020. And I knew this would be the number 1 album of 2020. Like, I already know what the album of 2021 is going to be. But now with 2020, number 1, Deftones, Ohms. Yes. Really good album. I love it. I've been listening to it all the time. Songs like Genesis, the opener, Radiant City, The Link is Dead. Phenomenal album. It's Deftones at their finest. So if you love Chino like I do, which Jay is not a huge Chino vocal fan, I love him. Stephen Carpenter wrote some cool riffs on this album. It's a real good album. Real good. Everyone check it out.
9-string guitar, is that true?
There is a 9-string guitar making an appearance, and the bottom 2 strings are not played once during that song. So why does he do that? I have no idea. So someone in the chat could let me know. Send me a private message.
A PM.
Dude, just tell me. Could someone tell me why he uses a 9-string guitar, which I can play that song solely on a 6 standard tuning. So, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to show off for us.
Maybe he's got a guitar to sell. A signature guitar to sell. Oh shit! I got no 9-string songs. Well, guess what? I'll just Abe Cunningham is a killer drummer. Great drum sound too. That's the one thing about Deftones. They've pretty much always had a amazing drum sound.
Yeah. So as I was saying, like some bands that I've met over the years, I've met Deftones a couple times, and one time I met them, it was in Albany. There was Northern Lights. You played there before, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So they played there when I think their self-titled album came out. So it was like 2000. It was 2006. No, I'm sorry. It was 2005 when I saw them. Because at the time, I'm sorry, not 2007. Yes, because my son Brody was born in 2008. And at that time, we had a dog named Chino, named after Chino.
Really?
So at that time, I was with my my ex-wife, and she's with me, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to talk to him about Chino. I'm going to tell him we have a dog named after him." I'm like, "Don't do that."
Yeah, don't do that.
It's like I don't know if that's really such a good idea. How's he going to react? Like, "Oh, thanks for naming an animal after me." So I'm first in line, and I was talking to the band, and everyone was really cool. And she comes up and she's like, "Chino, we have a dog named after you." And I was like, "No, we just had this discussion." And he was so cool. He was just like, "That's awesome." He's like, he was so like touched. And then at that time, she was pregnant with my son, and she's like, "Yeah, we'll make sure that we'll listen to a lot of Deftones because I'm pregnant." When she said that, the whole band was like, "Oh, that's awesome." They all gave her a hug, and they were really, really nice. And Deftones are really cool. I've listened to Deftones since I was in high school, and I'll be listening to Deftones when I'm 80 if I'm here, God willing. But that's my band. I love the Deftones. So album of the year, new Deftones, Ohms. Hell yeah.
Look at that. Was it hard to pick the top 5?
Not really. Because these are generally the albums I've just been listening to throughout the year. Some years I think are harder than others, right? It depends on what comes out.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I know we're going to talk a little later about what we're pumped for 2021. But no, it wasn't too hard. No. What do you think? Did you ever listen to that song? Actually, my number 2 favorite song of the year, which I'll talk about shortly. Did you listen to that song yet? I've asked you 5 times to listen to.
What song?
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Headless?
By who?
Deftones?
Oh. No, I never got that far. I listened to that one time. I never got that far into the album.
That song is awesome. You must listen to it, and you have to let me know. In the chat, what do you guys think? Do you like my my list? Do you hate it? Do you have any albums that you want to talk about? Edwin Crane, No Stabbing Westward. No, I don't know if they're putting out a new album, but not a fan. And we're going to continue with our conversation. So Jay, what else?
Well, Randy Price mentions Silosis. I'm more of a Silosis fan when they had the I guess their old singer, the guy that actually like sang as well as Scream. I dig that version better. But they have obviously phenomenal guitarist. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But Jeannie wants to take over the co-host seat tonight.
I think she was kicking me out, saying I was doing a poor job. That
no, she's talking about me.
I know. The Silosis, did they play 7 strings?
I doubt it. I doubt
Really?
it. I could be wrong, but I didn't think they did.
I thought I could have sworn. I know Ben Tom, you're in the chat somewhere. Find out for us, please, and get back to us. Thank you. God bless. All right, Jay. What do you want to go over?
Well, does anybody want to go back to 1990? Let's go back to in the way back machine here. I just wanted to do. I was going to do 1991, but I figure 2020 just to make it even numbers, even Steven. Go back 30 years because obviously Boner Jams listens to more modern metal than I do.
Yep.
I'm still stuck in the 80s and 90s with a lot of this stuff, and that's mainly what I listen to is stuff from back then. So whether it be metal or pop, even pop, like Eddie would say, pop. That's where my bread and butter is, and that's where a lot of the influences of the music that I've written and and the guitarists that I grew up listening to and that have inspired me. So I guess I'll go over, and it's hard for me to pick. I can't do a top 5, man. It's like, and that's the thing, I guess. And you said it's harder as time goes on because there's albums that maybe you didn't listen to right off the bat, and then you found out, and you're like, oh my God, that, things turn into classic albums years after, obviously.
Right.
So I'm going to be able to pick some of my top ones, but I'm also going to give like you said, the honorable mention, but it's going to be more than one because, well, it'll probably be easier for me if I don't list, because right now I have the hard rock and heavy metal, not just heavy metal.
It's all good, mid.
I mean, I can just do the heavy metal ones.
No,
it'll be easier.
It's our show. We can talk about whatever we want.
I'll just go over the heavy metal ones now, and then I'll list some of the other ones. So,
okay.
Should I go? I'm going to go top 1. I'm going to go my number 1 first.
I know it.
What is it?
Anthrax.
Yes, Anthrax, Persistence of Time.
Fuck yeah.
That album to me is just one of my favorite all-time records. It's like top 5 all time for me, probably.
All time. So top 5 of all time. Anthrax. I can't even say Anthrax. Jesus. Anthrax Persistence of Time is in top 5 all time Jay Hoonan album. Yep. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but is it really top 5?
Yeah. It's one of those albums for me that because I still remember, because I was listening to Anthrax, after I got into like, the Metallica stuff and everything. And I still remember the day because, what was it? In 1990, I was 13. So obviously, we didn't have the internet back then where, we'd know that, record releases were coming out. I wasn't at the age of like going to record stores and, buying albums or anything like that.
Right.
So I still remember the day we got the Sunday paper and the circulars, those stores. And I saw the Caldor circular. And I'm flipping through Caldor and I see the ad and there's pictures of cassettes sitting there and all the new releases of the week. And right there was the cassette for Anthrax. And I was like, they have a new album? I was like so pumped. And then, a couple whenever the hell, I don't know if it was already out or if it was coming out on the Tuesday coming up. I forget what it was, but I still remember my mom took me up to Caldor. I bought the tape and I was just like, this is it, man. I just headphones on all the time, listening to that. And it's still one of those albums to me that I listen to now that brings me back to like, when I was younger, like getting into real, the heavier stuff. And I know most people's favorite Anthrax record is Among the Living. And I totally get it.
Me.
Among the Living is a classic. Yeah. But there's something about Persistence of Time for me. It's a more mature, progressive, darker record, more serious. They definitely shed that, goofy, jams wearing type of stuff, even though, they'd still be goofballs, but the music was really like, just, man.
I think they made at that time a concerted effort not to be goofy anymore.
Yes.
Just because of like Slayer and how well they were doing at that time. Obviously Metallica. So I think they're just like, we can still be us, but I think we need to tone that down a little bit, which I think was a great idea. But I agree 100%.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, as you get older, you know, who wants to see older people like dressing like kids? I don't know. I don't want to get into all that stuff, but I know I read an interview with those guys back in the day, and it was like, we can't go on stage wearing jams anymore. You know what I mean?
Like Adam D from Killswitch.
Don't get me started. But another thing about that album, it's got one of my favorite ever like rhythm guitar tones. The rhythm guitar on that record, the sound of it is just, to me, still just like, oh yes, just crushing. The production I really love on that album. My number 2, which is a lot of people's all-time thrash record of all time.
I know this too.
It's Rust in Peace from Megadeth. I mean, that is a lot of thrash fans all-time favorite. And I can't disagree. I mean, it's not my all-time favorite. It's up there. But it definitely lays the groundwork for holy shit, look at what we're playing. We're not taking names. Or we're taking names.
We're taking names. We're not taking names, yeah.
We're taking names, man. We're just, definitely when and that's my favorite lineup from Megadeth as well. That classic, Mustaine, Menza, Ellefson, and obviously Marty Friedman, who was just, no
Dimebag Darrell, but that's
oh God. But
before you go any further, the reason why I say that is Jimmy, Jay's brother-in-law, and I kind of, I wouldn't say we get into it, but we get into it. And he always talks about how great Marty Friedman is, and he's better than Dimebag Darrell. And if anyone knows me, I love me some Dimebag. So no, I'm sorry. So Jimmy and I go about it. I think Marty Friedman's the man. Don't get me wrong. His hair is terrible, but his guitar playing is phenomenal. And Dime has some crazy hair too. I'm not going to hate, but I don't know.
Well, they're different players as well. I mean, if you want somebody to write a riff, it's going to be Dimebag. And at the same time, like his solos were amazing as well. So I mean, it's hard to pick one. I mean, from my perspective, I hate choosing anything, but
Dimebag. No, I'm joking. I'm just busting balls. I love Marty Friedman. He's great, but I just say that more really to mess with Jimmy.
They're both, I mean, ridiculous. Yeah, and I know you guys just bust balls anyway, so it's not like it's you're not saying one sucks, but
right. But it eventually gets to that too, where we keep saying it.
Oh yeah, you
like,
argue with
terrible.
About who you like better. Next thing you know, you hate the other guy. It's like, oh no, he sucks now.
Exactly.
Before you go, Browns fan says Dimebag was the total package. Yeah. He didn't need another guitarist in the band either.
Right. Hey, what's up, Shy? Shy, my boy Shy is in the chat. And a few others from before. I'm sorry I didn't say. Jenny Musa and
Genzilla.
And Liz Donnelly. What's going on, guys? Before you go on, I have to know now, and I don't want to wait. Top 5 albums of all time. Persistence of Time is top 5. I need to know the other 4 right now. I'm not waiting. Tell me, please.
5150 and Justice for All.
Persistence of Time is 3.
And then we're probably going to go Vulgar Display of Power and Empire from Queensryche. Would that be my top 5 of all time? I mean, that's hard, man.
That is really hard.
I'm surprised I was able to list 5.
I'm impressed. 4 of the 5 I could see. Empire from Queensryche. I'm really surprised by that.
Dude, that is one album that I get goosebumps on like a handful of the songs, man. It just musically, that thing does something to me.
What year did that album come out?
1990. I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Keep going. I just blew it. I just
1990.
blew it for you. I'm so sorry. I just gave it away. My bad.
No, but that's a hard rock one. I wasn't going to throw it in with the metal.
Oh, okay.
You got obviously you got Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. And that I love. That album is weird to me because it has obviously extreme metal influence in there. It still has the 80s influence in there. It's got the big drums, that signature dime bag guitar sound that wouldn't work for any other guitar player in any other album. And it's just it's a really strange record, but at the same time, an amazing record. Everything about it I love. Yeah, I mean, that's up there as well Cowboys from Hell. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, I think the one of the best breakdowns of all time is Domination.
Oh yeah.
That riff into the solo, perfect.
Yeah, and it still has that like Phil still he was still able, he still had his voice back then, obviously. And a lot of the 80s stuff, the high screams and stuff, he was still doing the falsetto, but he was still doing it in a cool way back then. And obviously, when Vulgar came in 92, it wasn't really hip to do that type of stuff anymore. So he got just more into the badass, stuff. But I dig both. I definitely do. So yeah, Cowboys from Hell. I still remember my best friend at the time, Anthony, who was the first drummer from Gizmachi. His brother was a huge headbanger, and he let me borrow the cassette for Cowboys from Hell. And I remember getting home and the flanged intro to Cowboys from Hell, the song, and then the and then it drops in. It's like, holy shit, man.
Right.
But then there's so many signature classic riffs on that record, that are just like, my God. So.
Mm-hmm. Look, Pantera, the Primal Concrete Sledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is like that riff invented gent, if I could. But that riff is way before its time.
A lot of those riffs are way before their time. I mean, the amount of gain that he was playing with, that's number one, how he was able to get a lot of those, squealing pinch harmonics out of his guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember trying to learn that stuff back in then. I'm like, damn, like how's he getting all those pinch harmonics up really high and stuff? I'm like, Jesus. But the amount of gain he was playing with, but at the same time, you have to know how to control that amount of gain. And he's just, man, Message in Blood. God, you can go down the list on that record, and it's like, Jesus,
It's a great album.
Yep. What was that? 3 I listed?
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do I have on here that's metal? Well, you got Testament, Souls of Black, which I do think is an awesome record. Sonically, it's just, like the transistor radio guitar sound. It's not a pleasing record to listen to as far as the production. I would love to remix that record. Love it. Send me the files, guys. I'll remix that shit for free. That's one thing. They were still at that time. There are still some records. In the late 80s, 1990, that they still didn't know how to hone in on a lot of the, like the tighter metal stuff. A lot of it was still, I don't know if some of the engineers really didn't know how to record that stuff or mix it. I don't know. But so obviously there's that. And then another one of my bands that I love that I get my balls busted about. Flotsam and Jetsam. When the Storm Comes Down came out in 1990, and I think it's great.
When the storm comes down, then your pants go down. That's a great album for you, right?
So, is that 4?
Yeah.
And I don't even think that's is When the Storm Comes Down. I don't even think that's on Spotify because I believe MCA Records, let me see, owns that, and I don't think they released that stuff to digital yet, which I think is a mistake. Yeah, it goes 88, No Place for Disgrace, right to 92, Quattro. It skips right over this album because I think MCA Records or something. There's some reason why it's not, but that sucks, man. You know?
Yeah.
That they don't have it on streaming or digital. But and I still remember, yeah, Jeannie says the amount of Flotsam played in this house. I dig it, man. Especially that album. Quattro is my favorite Flotsam record. But anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on that one. And then I guess obviously you got Slayer Seasons in the Abyss, which might be one of my favorite Slayer albums.
It's a great album.
It is. It really is.
Well, an album we talked about before it came out in 90. We briefly talked about it. Pretty Hate Machine, 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put that in hard rock or heavy metal.
It's the tits. It's great.
Oh, it is. I definitely dig that. It's just weird though, because when I was listening to that stuff, I was a teenager, and when I listen back to some of that stuff now, it just doesn't have the same.
What?
Pretty Hate Machine.
Yeah. Sin?
No, I'm just saying I listen to it now and it doesn't do the same thing for me anymore.
Oh, it still gives me the feels. The outro in Terrible Lie is the best outro in music history. I said it. Who wants to fight me? Who wants to fight? Let's go right now. It's great.
I don't know. One of the best outros in music history is I would say well, as far as metal goes, man, you got Hollow from Pantera. It's the shit.
It is the shit.
Goosebumps just thinking about that one.
I know. I have it too. I remember. I think it was like 10 years ago. You and I were talking about that, and you're like, yeah, I love that song. I remember going to sleep because I would listen to the album and how that would fade out. And then it would come back in and it would wake you up a little bit as you're falling asleep, right? And then you told me that. You remember that?
Yes.
I don't know why I remember the weirdest things about you. I love you. Let's keep going.
Well, I got a bunch. Well, here's the band I was talking about with the industrial influence. Like when they started going a little more industrial is when I stopped listening as much. But Prong, Beg to Differ. Definitely, if you headbangers out there haven't listened to that record, I remember seeing it on MTV Headbangers Ball. They had was it the song Beg to Differ, or was it I'm trying to think what the hell song was on Headbangers Ball. They had a music video for it.
Snap your finger, snap your neck.
No, that was after that. That was like 96 that shit came out, right?
Yeah, there you go, Edwin Crane. Yep.
Yeah. But this album is more just metal for the most part. Queen Boudica says no idea who that is. Check out Prong, Beg to Differ.
Queen Boudica said Queen Boudica doesn't know much about Pantera. I'm gonna go with Queen Boudica as a female. I'm just guessing. There's a lot of Pantera stuff. Just get into it quickly. You'll love it.
Start with either Cowboys or Vulgar.
Probably Vulgar.
Yeah. And then, I mean, there's a buttload of honorable mentions as far as the hard rock stuff. Well, I'll keep going with the metal. You got Violence, Oppressing the Masses came out in 90. Suicidal Tendencies, Lights, Camera, Revolution. Forbidden, Twisted into Form, which I didn't hear of Forbidden until like 2014. The old drummer from Byzantine showed me Forbidden, and I was like, holy crap, this is great. Really, really good. Some songs on that Forbidden record are just badass.
Right.
And then I'm sure I'll let's see. Alice in Chains Facelift came out.
Great album.
Lynch Mob Wicked Sensation. Yes.
I never listened to it.
I love it. I love me some Lynch Mob.
Yeah, they actually just changed their name too.
What?
They changed their name.
Don't get me started on that stupid shit. God, last name is Lynch. You know, stop apologizing for something that's so stupid. God, man.
And then you said Queensryche, because Wayno earlier said, what gives you the tingles and the jingles? So it's the Queensryche.
Yes, Queensryche Empire might be the all-time album that gives me goosebumps. Like there's multiple songs on that album that and I'll just say from a production standpoint as well and songwriting standpoint, that album, you can tell they really, really really paid attention and busted their asses to put these great songs together, great melodies, harmonies, guitar parts layered over. Like they really just, Chris DeGarmo, Browns fan. Chris DeGarmo, you know, I'm pumped right now thinking of Queensryche, man. That album.
Isn't Chris DeGarmo from American Idol? That's a different person I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
No, I'm joking.
I don't know about that. But, no, but I remember that being an album that because I heard the title track Empire was on MTV, right? And my brother borrowed his bass player's cassette for Empire. And all I wanted to do was hear the song Empire. You know, so when you're kids, sometimes you just like, oh, I just want to hear that one song, right?
Right.
You don't think anything else of the band. So I kept listening to that one song. And then finally I let, because I think that was the last song on side 1. Or was it the first song on side 2? I'm trying to think how it was. Might have been the first song on side 2. And then I finally just let it play. And I remember sitting in my room like, oh my God, this is good. This is really like, holy crap, good. So I'd never heard of Queensryche except for that one song. And it ends up becoming one of my favorite albums of all time after all these years.
Wow.
Yep. The clean tone on that album and the bass tone on that album, or bass sound on that album, you can't be messed with, man. Phenomenal.
So when I was younger, I couldn't get into Queensryche because of the name. I was just like,
understandable.
I don't know, same like I said before about Dream Theater. Like, I'm gonna go listen to some Dream Theater. Okay, sounds good. But I actually gave it a chance, and it was pretty good. So,
no, I get it. Winger in the Heart of the Young came out in 1990.
Damn,
I know you love that one. Slaughter, Stick It To You. Somebody mentioned who was it? Thrash metal mentioned who the hell was it?
Blackjack Guitar Nut. What's up, man?
Sacred Reich came out with The American Way that year. And that, if anybody is remembers the movie Encino Man, the scene when he thaws out, when Brandon Fraser, whatever the hell his name is, his ice cube thaws out and he's going into the house and he steps on the remote, at first it's like the Terminator or whatever. And then there's the one, he clicks on it again and it's a heavy metal band on MTV. Dun, 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 it's headbanging and he starts doing it. That's how I found out about Sacred Reich. And I literally went out within a couple days and got that CD. Or I'm trying to think if I asked for it for Christmas, but whatever it was. It's just cool. Back then you still find out about heavy metal in movies.
Right.
They don't put that stuff in there anymore because pop culture is lame now.
Super lame.
Yep.
Which do you have any other albums for 90? Because then the lameness will bring us to the next thing that I'm pumped to talk about. So pumped.
My top 2 guitar records came out in 1990.
Larry Mitchell
Larry Mitchell came out with this.
and Steve Vai.
Yep, and Steve Vai came out with Passion and Warfare.
Damn, I know Jay Hannon.
And obviously, for those who I'm sure most of you guys know, like, obviously Eddie Van Halen is the reason why I wanted to play guitar. But Larry Mitchell is the reason that I asked for a guitar for my 15th birthday. I had this, dubbed on a cassette, listening to it on headphones, driving to New Jersey with my mom to visit my grandparents. And I just remember sitting in the back seat with headphones on, like visualizing myself like on stage playing those songs. And I remember taking the headphones off and I was like, Mom, can I have a guitar for my birthday?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, I have to ask your father. And instantly I was like, well, I guess I'm not getting a fucking guitar.
Right? You always had to ask your mom for everything. Anytime I asked my dad for something, I would just be like, uh-oh. But I'm like, yo, Mom. My mom always complained about it.
Well, my parents dealt with my brother like being in a band, and he was the drummer in his band, having a drum set downstairs in his room in the basement. And just the whole house was shaking, for X amount of years. And my dad knew that, like, oh, great. Now Jason wants to play guitar. It's going to be loud again. He's going to have drummers in here and, all that stuff. So he was like, obviously thinking of himself and his sanity.
Right.
But yeah. But I think she mentioned it to him, and my father probably told her like the same thing. Like, oh, Kath, we're going to have band, got people in here. So she took me out anyway on my 15th birthday and got me a piece of crap guitar.
That's awesome.
Selling hundreds of records.
That's great. Well, it's 9:26. We got to make sure.
Wait, I got a couple more. Living Color Time's Up came out in 1990.
Oh, okay.
What else did I miss? I said Slaughter, Stick It To You. Did I? No,
you did now.
So that's my list of albums that I like from that year. And I'm sure there's other ones like as that thrash metal mentioned, Sacred Reich. But yeah, it was a great year for metal, man.
Definitely. What I'll say is, if you guys are watching the show and you haven't hit the thumbs up, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, we should probably do a station identification at 9:30.
That's what I was saying, and you cut me off.
I'll keep cutting you off.
So make sure everyone
finish up tonight. I'll cut you off again.
There we go. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever tickles your fan. What is your fancy? Is that your butt, legs, knees?
I think it's the spot between your balls and your butt.
The chode.
Is that your fancy?
Yeah, well, it is now. That's what I'm going to call it now.
The bass.
Before I get to, I want to get to top 10 songs of 2020. Something I thought would be pretty funny to talk about: bands that I like that no one else likes, or bands that I hate that everyone likes. Jay and I talked about this earlier today. Did you put any of them together?
Well, Winger is one of them. My friends always bust my balls that I listen to Winger. Winger and Flotsam and Jetsam. Those are like the two bands that I still love and listen to this day, where friends are just like, dude, we listen to Winger right now?
That's true. Flotsam and Jetsam, not so much for me, but Winger, no, I'm good.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one of the older singer from Gizmachi, Matt, I remember him used to, Jay likes Flotsam and Jetsam. He used to call him Flotsam. He used to bust my balls hard when I'd listen to that stuff. But, hey, we like what we like, right?
So in the chat, what bands do you like that no one else likes? Or what bands do you despise that everyone else loves? So definitely throw some bands in there. But what else do you have besides Winger, Flotsam, and Jetsam?
Firehouse. Yeah, I love their first two albums, man.
Don't they have like a pretty big single?
They have like two huge singles.
What are they? I know one of them.
They're the ones that I skip when I listen to them.
That's true.
Hold on, let me peep it. Hold on.
There's as you're looking at that, there's I think for everybody, bands that you love, and when the single comes on, like I skip it. Like when I listen to Subliminal Verses by Slipknot, Duality comes on, I skip it. Like I've heard it so much, I'm good. But everything else on the album, amazing. So
You got Love of a Lifetime from
No.
Firehouse. When I Look Into Your Eyes.
How's it go? Can you sing it for me? No, I'm joking. I don't know that song.
Yeah, they had a lot of there were a couple. I mean, those were actually like huge songs at the time, you know.
Yeah, there's one I know. I'm like, okay, I don't really know. I can't really say either way, good or bad.
Yep.
What else you got?
They have that Get in Touch song. And I just get to. It starts out like that. If anybody wants to giggle their little balls off, listen to Get in Touch off of Hold Your Fire from Firehouse.
Are we going to pull your metal card tonight with all these?
Some people would have already pulled it. But I love that shit, man. One of those songs where if you're at a red light with the windows down and somebody pulls up next to you, you might turn it down a little bit.
There's some good ones here in the chat. Greta Van Fleet. I haven't listened to him much. Wayno, Kill Switch Engage, really? Okay.
Wait, does he like them or dislike them?
I don't know. You need to expand on that. Shy, Skid Row.
Oh, Skid Row. Oh, come on.
18 to Life. That song is the shit, though. Plus, when I was younger, I had a crush on Sebastian Bach before I figured out he was a dude with a huge Adam's apple and he's 6'5". So I thought he was good looking. Good looking woman. What else you got? Sweet. Okay. Well, as you, I have no idea where you went. I'm going to go with a few of mine. Tube Supio, yes. Deftones Headless is amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Some groups that I like that no one else likes. I love Orgy. Not being in one, but the band. That band is great. They have some really good stuff. Their first two albums is really good. I listened all the way through. Really good stuff. Chevelle is a band I really like. There you are. Where'd you go?
I had to take a whiz.
Thanks for the heads up on that.
Things, man, you know.
So I was saying Orgy is a band I love.
I heard you.
And I really like Chevelle a lot. Everything. I like all their stuff.
Chevelle one of those bands that were like put together or something? Or I know there's two brothers in the band, right?
There were three.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of a different band. I remember some band was put together, but maybe it was somebody else. Whatever.
I love Chevelle. They're great. Orgy's awesome. The first two albums. Nothing after that. When they got a little more like EDM, I'm good on that. But when it was like the industrial, because they use 7 strings as well, so they had some of the low B action going on. Old school Marilyn Manson. I dislike Marilyn Manson a lot now. Like the new stuff, awful. But one of my top 10 favorite albums of all time is Portrait of an American Family.
Wow.
The first album by Marilyn Manson. Top 10. Love that album. Hell yeah. The album's great from beginning to end. Like I'll listen to that now. And it brings me back to Goth Brian. Black eyeliner, long hair. I dyed half my hair white. The other side was black.
Guyliner, you mean?
Yeah. I love old school Marilyn Manson. New stuff I don't like at all. But also I guess like people now, some people hate on Korn. I love Korn. Old Korn, new Korn, cream corn, corn on the cob. I love it all. So I know you're not a big fan of the newer Korn stuff, but
There's 2 albums, man. Give them to me.
Yeah. And Limp Bizkit.
You know what's funny? Hold on. Let's go to Korn real quick.
Yeah.
When Jimmy was down here for Christmas, who's, as Brian said before, my brother-in-law / drummer in Gizmachi, he recently, or earlier this year, he bought a Dino Cazares signature Ibanez, an older one.
Yep.
And he got it painted and stuff. And actually, Craig from CHS Custom Guitars, sanded it, painted it, all that stuff. And he has that guitar tuned down to A. And like A standard, not dropped or anything, like A standard, like how Korn has theirs, I guess, tuned. And it's funny, the second I plugged it in, the second I hit that low A, I was like, it just brought me back to like 1996. I was just like, do 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 do, and then it and then
Divine.
And I was playing all the hits, and Jeannie and Jimmy were just sitting there giggling. I was like, this shit is funny as hell.
Yeah.
Jimmy wasn't here. I was up there. Sorry.
Need to that is my. I love that song. I remember working at Devitt's. That was my first job, and I was Egbert, which we could talk about at a different time. But
oh, really?
Hell yeah, I was Egbert.
Oh my god,
it was great. And once in a while, like there was like teenagers and stuff would come in and try to mess with me, and I became Satanbert. I'd blow up its eyes like real bright. It was great. But every day I would drive to Devitt's listening to the first Korn album. And Need To, that song just gave me the feels. Even now, to this day, like that intro, like how the guitar sounds. Damn, give it to me.
I know.
So those are some bands, and then last, like Limp Bizkit, first Limp Bizkit album. I saw Limp Bizkit. I think you did too. They opened for Korn. They didn't even have an album yet. They had a demo. It was Limp Bizkit Helmet Korn. Mm-hmm. It was at the Civic Center off the Life is Peachy tour. And Fred Durst was like yelling at everyone, fuck you, throwing his tapes out in the crowd. I was like, this is cool. And it was really aggressive. And that first album, $3 Bill, y'all, that's some really good stuff. Wes Borland is the man.
Yeah.
So the first Limp Bizkit album, Stuck, that, the chorus of that song, I'm getting the goosebumps now. And I had my little minivan when I was in high school. It's called the Biscuit. I had a big Limp Bizkit sticker on the back. It was dope.
You had a minivan in high school?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was like, I remember my dad is like, we'll go find a car. Whatever you have to put down, I'll match it. I had $1,000 and he's like, I guess you're gonna get a $2,000 car. So when I went to, it was some place on 9W in the city of Newburgh, right by Dunkin' Donuts. Like right when you get into Newburgh, the city, there was just a used car place. It was just filthy used car place.
Wait a second. You're not talking about the Newburgh Nissan.
No. Further down, like once you get into the city, not like 300 and.
Oh, okay, all right. Because Newburgh Nissan was right on the corner there for a while.
Yeah, when you go down 17K and just keep going all the way into the city, when it comes to like Trash Boat down there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was either like an old Buick or a minivan for that price. I'm like, minivan it is. I can load up the honeys in the car. There was no honeys in my car. It was just me and a bunch of my friends. So,
well, you start thinking about that, man. What girls I can get in this thing?
Exactly. So I had dually sliding doors. And like the back would come up. So for Halloween, there was like 8 people crammed in my car, just tossing eggs at people. It was great. Yeah, those are some bands that I like that no one else really likes.
Brendan Buttcheeks is in here.
What's up, Buttcheeks?
He was in here. I'm trying to tag him now. I can't.
Bae. So with that, there's bands that I hate that everyone likes. So I'm going to start with this because I got to get some stuff off my chest right now.
Okay.
Linkin Park. I do not like Linkin Park. I liked the first album, the first 2 albums, I'll say. Everything after that, pure garbage. And everyone loved them. And I was like, these guys are terrible. They went to me, went commercial. And I hate Linkin Park. It's true. I feel a lot better. I fucking hate Linkin Park so much right now. I just do. I think they're awful. And their last album they put out before Chester passed away, unfortunately, is the biggest pile of crap I've ever listened to. It's the worst album of the last 20 years. It is so bad. It really is. It is god awful. Another band that I despise that everyone likes.
No, keep shitting on Linkin Park. I'm enjoying this.
I can get back to it, but Papa Roach. Hell no. I hate Papa Roach. They suck. They're so bad. I know people love Papa Roach. I hate the singer. I hate everything about him. I just can't get into him. I don't know. I just don't like it. And Ollie was talking to me about, because he knew I despised Papa Roach. He's like, Brian, they're really good guys. You should give them a chance. I'm like, no, I'm done, Ollie. Like, I love you, but no, they're awful. I can't do Papa Roach. There's one song that they have that I like. It's like between, it's off the first album. I forgot what it is. It's pretty cool. Angels and Insects or something like that. That song's cool. Besides that, no, awful.
I will say that we did a short tour with them in Europe, in Germany, with Papa Roach and Helmet. Obviously, we opened, but I remember meeting, who's the singer from Papa Roach again? What's his name?
Stroke victim. Jacoby.
Yeah, Jacoby.
Whatever.
He was actually surprisingly very cool with us. There was one show in particular that he was like basically giving us, like, how in sports, a veteran will take a rookie under their wing and kind of like give advice. And hey, in this situation, he talked to us backstage for probably about 45 minutes and just, he knew that we were kind of new to, especially in Europe. It was our first time in Europe, only time in Europe. And it was just very different. And, there was some stuff going on in the band at that time where, certain people might have been having a few too many of these, and then it affects the show type of thing.
Right.
He was kind of going in hard in the paint about, like, hey guys, when you're on tour like this, especially away from home, like, this is all that matters. Like, your time on stage, anything. And I've preached this since then. When you're on the road and on tour, like, that's the only time that matters. If you have 40 minutes up on stage, everything you do during the day, the night before, the leading up to it, everything you do has to prepare you and get you ready for that. And if you do anything during that time that's going to detract or take away from your performance, then you're not doing this for the right reasons. And that stuck with me, so I definitely give that guy credit for at least taking the time to, give a younger band some tips, and waking some MFers up.
So again, I've never met Papa Roach.
It's not just about like the partying and stuff. Obviously that's fun.
Right.
But when you're trying to make something of yourself as a band and get a following, you can't go up there and suck.
Sure. No, that's sound advice. I just don't like Papa Roach.
That's fine. That's fine. Hey, we can speak frankly on this show.
Yeah.
He ain't watching the shit.
No, definitely not. One band that I hate, I loathe, not necessarily because I think they're bad musicians. It's just the fans and that the people love is Dave Matthews Band. I have no issue with Dave Matthews Band, their music. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's their fans. Their fans are the biggest compilation of terrible human beings that I have ever met. Like, I was in college and people like, let's listen to Dave. I'm like, who's Dave? Like, now we're on first name basis with the guy.
Dave Roth. We listening to Van Halen. All right.
I was like, no, it's just people love Dave Matthews Band. Then, like, people like I'm friends with, I'm not even going to mention it because they're probably here in the chat, and we can talk about it later. But they were like, hey, Brian, Dave Matthews isn't bad. Stop. They're awful. Like, I won't listen to Dave Matthews. I just can't. When it comes on in my car, it has to be turned off. Not because, again, I have nothing against them musically.
No. When it's on the radio in Brian's car, he actually rips the stereo out of the car and goes and buys a new one because it's been tainted.
Yeah. No, I'm all set on Dave Matthews just because of the following and like, Yo, man, I've been to 83 shows this year. Get a job. I hate you. Like, stop it. I can't do it. I'm sorry, guys. If you like Dave Matthews Band, I have no issue with you. The collective masses of Dave Matthews followers, I'm all set on. So that's another band. Another Snoop Dogg. Let's talk about Snoop Dogg for a second.
Oh my God.
Snoop Dogg back in like the mid 90s was like the most thug rapper, which I thought he was the man. Gin and Juice, rapping with Dre, Andrade, stuff like that. Like, just guy was hard, you know. He got arrested for murdering someone, you know. 187 undercover cop. Like, guy was so hard. He sucks now. He's on commercials with Martha Stewart eating guacamole. Fuck him. Like, stop it. Like, you used to be so cool. Now you're like 80 pounds soaking wet, eating guacamole with Martha Stewart. And when you rap now, you have absolutely nothing to discuss. Nothing. So you throw an Izzle in there? I'm good on you. No thanks. I can't do Snoop Dogg. And my last person that I really have a problem with.
No, not the last. Let's keep going. We're gonna go till midnight tonight, folks, on the East Coast, just with people that Brian can't stand.
So like I like some rap, like old school rap, and I wouldn't say I get arguments, but I get some really good conversations with people, and they talk about like their Mount Rushmore rappers, and they're like talking about Biggie. I'm like, Biggie had 2 albums, 2. If Biggie had the career trajectory of like Snoop Dogg, he'd be terrible. Right now, he'd be talking about Big Macs and like going to Wendy's and getting like a breakfast Baconator. Like if he only had 2 albums. So not only did he have 2 albums, which they're good, and I'll give him that, but Puff Daddy, P Diddy, whatever he wants to call himself, ruins songs. He's the ruiner. So I forget what song it is, but if you listen to songs that he does, he giggles. He goes, and then he's like, that's right. And like, he just whispers throughout the song, pure nonsense, garbage. So next time when the Biggie song comes on and Puff's in it, listen to it. Now, every time you hear it, that's all you're going to hear. You're going to hear him. You won't hear Biggie anymore.
He ruined the lead song.
What's that?
He ruined Every Breath You Take.
Terrible.
Yeah, I can't listen to the original version of that song because of
Faith Evans.
God, and you know,
no, it's terrible. But there's one song, and I forgot what it is. It's one of his big singles, and I guarantee what transpired in the studio is Biggie just finished laying down this filthy track. He's like, guys, I'm hungry. Breaking news. I'm starving. I need to go get some food. So he leaves the studio, and Diddy's like, now it's our time. So Diddy is like, you get your crew, you get your friends, I get my friends. We can be friends. And he giggles, and then it goes right back into like the chorus, and like, you know, Biggie comes back. It is the biggest nonsense garbage I've ever listened to in my life. Fuck him. I'm done. I'm good. I can't do him.
Well, Biggie, it's funny because, you know, a lot of people do consider him like, you know, one of the greatest of all time, but to me it always sounds like he's eating a sandwich while he's in the vocal booth rapping. It always sounds like he's got some kind of food in his mouth, and I can't listen to it.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, he sounds like he's eating a Whopper, like during like his flows. God bless him, you know. And also too, I guess lastly, then you can go. I just had to get off my chest, but I love me some Backstreet Boys. I gotta say, like that song off the first song of the first album, that was great. All right, I'm done. So I just had to say that. What bands or groups or who do you despise?
I'm not going to get into that because there's a chance that this can come back to bite me in the asshole. So.
So there's nothing like there's no like, you know, like
there is. There's people that I've met, you know, bands or whatever that I've met personally, you know, while being on the road that I could completely, you know, utterly destroy. Not that anybody would believe what I'm saying, but I don't want to get into that crap, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, like what about like country music?
No. No, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
So you have nothing you want to add to it?
If you had to choose between NSYNC, Backstreet Boys,
98 Disease.
No, those two, and what was the original? New Kids on the Block. Well, who would you choose?
Oh, it wouldn't be New Kids on the Block because that story I told how I got disrespected by Danny Wood.
That's right.
He didn't like that I said he was not a very attractive man. In Sync, there's only two singers. It was that guy JC Chasez and Justin.
Really?
Backstreet, yeah.
What did the other guys do? Were they just dance?
Yeah, they're just handsome men, you know.
Dance?
But then the Backstreet, you got all of them, and they have like everybody, like that's great. I'm gonna have to go Backstreet.
Man, I'd have to go New Kids, man. I don't know why.
Because Hanging Tough, that song's dope, and you used in every
Hanging Tough, right?
And you do the dance, right? Like you're holding your crotch and you're doing that little wiggle.
I remember the song that people. It's like, what? How did it go again? Hanging to Wait.
Yeah.
What a new dance. Put your hands in your pants. Do the New Kids dance. It was something like
that's Hanging Tough.
Yeah.
That song's great.
But it's funny, listen, because Jeannie still listens to that stuff. The New Kids.
Of course he does.
And it's just a lot of it is so terrible because around that time, you know, any of the electronic stuff, you know, all the sample stuff they'd use and the drum machines and the keyboards, all that stuff, it sounded so fake. And you can completely tell that there's like absolutely nothing real about that.
Right.
And it's like, whoa, what is going on? And it's just
remember
weird,
back in the day, did you watch TRL like everyone else did?
I think so. Yeah, I watched TRL.
With your boy Carson Daly. And it was always the top two was NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, and they would waffle. Number 3 was always like Korn with Got the Life or Freak on a Leash. And then eventually Korn, beat them. I was so pumped. Like Korn was like, waving the metal flag, the hard rock flag in like the face of like pop youth. And I loved it. So that's also another reason I love Korn so much, because they were fighting the good fight for us,
Mm-hmm. I guess. Please don't go, girl. Kurt 5150. Please don't go, girl.
That's great. So nothing else you want to contribute to that?
No, I don't want to, because I can, once I get going with that stuff, it's hard for me to stop. So I don't want to incriminate myself too much here.
Yeah, I try to watch what I say because I have a lot to vent about with what I said. So I'll just leave it at that for now.
Yeah, but there would be no repercussions with you talking smack, whereas something can get, Oh, Jeannie said, can she speak Jay's hate mail? Well, she knows everybody that I can't stand.
It's true. There's a laundry list. It's big. Yeah. I think that's I'm good now. I feel I've exorcised the demons. Like I feel a lot better.
Well, before we go any further or wrap this up.
Yeah.
Everybody, tomorrow night is New Year's Eve. I don't give a shit what you got going on. You're going to be here tomorrow night, and you're going to ring in the new year across the planet with us on Johnny Beane TV. Because now, Johnny, if you're here, if you want to chime in when we're going to be going live, I'm going to be joining as soon as I can, probably after I put the kids to bed. And then I'm going to try to get Jeannie on with us for a bit, if that's cool with everybody. And we'll, yeah. Now it's a party.
Am I here? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me? I've been fighting with some dude on Facebook, man.
What's his name?
Some idiot on Facebook is just like trolling me.
What's his address?
I don't know. But I used to be, so nice to everybody. And now it's just there's no point to it anymore.
No point to
It's
being nice.
No, I'm not as nice as I used to be, but thank you, Browns fan. Yeah, well, that's what it is. Yeah. I made a video talking about the Wolfgang special, and somebody on one of the Van Halen Facebook groups is telling me that basically Fender Mexico sucks. It's all crap, and I'm like, dude, it's the player, it's not the instrument. You can make anything awesome. I've been to Fender. I've played everything. I go to NAMM, Guitar Center, whatever. And I'm telling the dude, it's all quality stuff. It really is. And he's
Fender
like,
Mexico does not suck.
No. So anyway, I don't know what this guy's name is.
He's probably just trying to, get under your skin, which it seems like it's
No. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. That's what the past hour. If you guys want to see it, if anybody wants to chime in, let me see what group was it?
He's just jealous of how handsome you are with that red coat on tonight.
Yeah. Oh, come on. It's Eddie Van Halen fans forever, and it should be the top post, and it's public, so you guys will see it.
All
Eddie
right.
Van Halen fans forever on Facebook group.
forever.
Yeah. So what? Tomorrow night?
Yeah, what time are you
time?
going live?
I'm not sure. We were trying to figure it out. It looks like last year. I'm thinking we went live 7:00 Eastern.
Oh my God.
And we went until 5 Eastern in the morning. I'm thinking that's what because we did 9 hours.
Damn. It's a marathon.
Yeah. So pretty much we rung in the new year for Europe, I think for the UK, and then everything after that up until Hawaii, I think is what we did. I'm not sure, but
Well,
definitely.
I think I'll jump in probably around 11ish, maybe a little after. I'll try to
Eastern.
Yeah.
Who in the cast of characters of the Johnny B network will be on the show tomorrow?
I have a feeling everybody.
So Brian,
What's everybody doing?
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be sitting right here.
I'll come in. I'll stop in.
Okay.
Hang out.
Everybody, and everybody's welcome too. Like if you're watching us, I mean, obviously we can't just let anybody on if we don't know you. But if we know you, like Kurt 5150, channel members, any channel member. If anybody wants to jump in for a period of time tomorrow,
don't overstay your welcome.
Don't
Don't overstay your welcome. You come in, you hang out for a few,
And you're out.
some shit, and you get out. We don't want to have to boot you.
Well, Bent Tom. Yeah. I mean, it's probably going to be insane. It's probably going to be totally insane, which, not too crazy. Don't get too crazy on us, but
There should be a show some point, maybe every once, twice a year, and have just people who are normally not together. Let's say Nerd Halen and myself, and someone like that, or Jay and Mancuda. Just have just different people going at it. I think that would be pretty fun.
Well, I vote for Paul to do to do the show tomorrow with his input gain cranked. Because oh God, if you would have seen, and I know this is like an inside thing, and the people in the chat don't really know, but there's a moment on Saturday night's show, a couple nights on Saturday, that Paul had that clipping and popping thing going on again, so he went back to his old connection or whatever. And for some reason, the input was jacked, was cranked. And he's like, how's that bad? And man, how it happened, I was up here giggling my boobs off 2 nights ago. Like, oh my God, I can't stop laughing at this. So I time stamped it, in the comment section. And my God, I'm just losing it. So I hope it's a show like that.
Yeah.
How's that? That better?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be fun, And we've been doing these for a lot of years, these New Year's Eve things. But again, if you're tuned in, definitely join us tomorrow. And I'm not sure exactly what time we will start. But we'll definitely be live by Eastern time. So that's what 9 o'clock out here. So or let's say at least half an hour before. So
I would say the latest 11:30 Eastern.
11:30 Eastern will definitely be on by then.
You'll be cranking,
and I'll create the session. I'll create the session so you guys will see the video on the channel.
But cancel your plans. I don't want to hear nothing about anybody going out doing anything.
No.
Ball dropping, none of that shit.
Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't go out anyway.
Social distancing.
Stay
here. Tell your friends. Come on in.
We'll get our own ball. Everybody will. I got kids. I got balls all around the house. Look, there's one right back there. I'll just drop that at midnight. Every hour, I'll drop it.
There you go.
And that's it. You don't need to watching that Richard Clark shit or what's his name? Who's
Clark?
Clark.
He's CGI'd now. He's like Yoda. What's Cedric Diggory back there is looking rough lately, Jay. You better take care of him.
I'll give you something to take care of.
So everyone, make sure you get some Bud Heavies in you, and then join the show tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can already feel it.
So I know the show is wrapping up, but I have 5 songs I want to talk about real quick. So Johnny, you should chime in on this too.
Okay.
Top 5 songs of 2020. Number 5, Trivium, Bending the Arc of Fear. Love it. Number 4, Gojira, Another World. Number 3, Mastodon, Fallen Torches. Number 2, Headless by Deftones. Number 1, Song of the Year, Broken Ends by Gizmachi. 2021 will be the year of Gizmachi. I said it right here. Let's go.
Wow. Thank you, Brian.
Nice. Well, that's that number 1 song. That's the only one I've heard out of all those. I've never heard the rest of those. I don't even know what that is. But the Gizmachi one, yeah, definitely.
Song's dope.
Thanks.
So, everyone tomorrow night, tune in. Happy New Year. We'll be back. Jay and I will be back next month, the last Wednesday of January.
Yeah, what's that? Let me peep that and see when that is. January 27th.
Right before the next singles release. So I think next month, if I was a betting man, we'll be talking a little Gizmachi, and the next single, Look What I've Become. We'll be discussing it.
That sucks. We can't even. Can we premiere it on here? 2 days before the song comes out? We can, right?
We can. We have it.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe we'll work something like that out. We'll have an exclusive 2 days before it actually hits the radio waves. Maybe we'll work something out and premiere it on this channel if everybody's cool with it.
Absolutely. But everyone, Happy New Year. Stay safe. Stay negative. Testing negative for COVID. And
the show's flagged now. You got to call it Beloved 69.
Oh, Beloved. Okay. Everyone stay safe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. 2021, the year of Gizmachi. Thank you, everyone.
Is it over?
Channel members.
Oh yeah, channel members. We got our producers, channel members. We have Halface, James Gum, Mancuda is a dildo.
Hey now.
802 Blues, Mr. BHB Jr., Frag 5150, Pal Guitars, Dan Halen, Frank Corcoran, Bent Tom, Thomas Santiago, The Man, Brian Spalding, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Laz, Ghost BC Rich, Ghost BC Good Band, Hugh Caldwell, Jim Nicholas, Jesus Rapes Me, Randy Price, Steve Carmichael.
Oh, Michael! Whoa! Holy shit. We're going to be here. You might as well continue the show through tomorrow.
Soon it's gonna be great. Yeah, we got Chuck Green, Fruitcake Tony, Mike Smith, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Dick Poole, Lenny Lou and Mary, Garguts Entertainment, Kurt 5150, KXM Rock, Arhabs, Will Starr, Steve Franklin, Wayno, Sean Bolin, Nicole Mrazek, Joe Christian, Mickey Settlemeyer, Susan Silvestri, David Shea Gamori, Bo Zeke, Crazy Cock or Crazy Cook. Sorry, every time I look, I always think Crazy Cock. Sorry, Crazy Cook 678, the one, the only, Carol Hatcher, Positive Flag, Margaret Scranton, Sean Silas, Julia Baldessari, and Jarhead Rock.
Man, we're going to have a whole separate show.
Damn, I gotta take some oxygen.
All these names. Hey now.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Jay, anything you got?
I got nothing.
Okay.
I have an unboxing for tomorrow.
Ooh.
See that right there?
Ooh.
I got a box in the mail, and it's kind of heavy too. So I'll be opening that sometime tomorrow. I'm going to save it for tomorrow night because, we need content.
Good.
I might have an unboxing during the day tomorrow, but I don't know if I'll be able to wait till midnight to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do a reboxing and unboxing again. I'll box it up.
Yeah.
And sending it back?
It's possible. It's very possible.
Possible. It's more than likely. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Happy New Year. See you next year. See you tomorrow. Have a good night. B.
Bye.
Johnny Beane on TV. Hey, check out Johnny Beane TV, eh?
Yeah,